Welcome back to historic Bowman Gray Stadium. And we dropped the news earlier tonight, the big news of the night. Media here from all over America in the short track and the Cup Series landscape. Well, that's because the NASCAR Cup Series will return to its roots here at historic Bowman Gray Stadium. The first time since 1971, the Grand National / Cup cars will grace the historic quarter mile. 2025, February 2nd, the Clash at Bowman Gray. Everybody up here in the booth has been excited about this. It's been like Christmas, where you know what's in the box, but you know you can't open it yet, but you know what's in there. It's been so exciting today. Met with so many great fans today in the shade tree. James Pike and I got to meet a lot of them. Some drivers came out to love on them, give them autographs, give them stuff. This place is special, but what's even more special, just hit the track. The NASCAR Brad's Golf Cars Modified, set for their first of Twin 25s. Let's give you the starting lineup. On the pole tonight in the Citrus Safe #1, the 96-time career winner here at Bowman Gray from Walnut Cove. It's the ace, Burt Myers, to the outside of this brotherly front row. The Knight of Brothers, the QRC HVAC. #4, it's the working man, Jason Myers.
Starting in third out of Tobaccoville, North Carolina, the Hayes Jewelers Jerry Hunt Supercenters, #83, the Rocket, Tim Brown. And starting in fourth out of King, North Carolina, driving the Wiley X #10 machine, Mike Speeney.
Starting fifth tonight in the Q104.1 machine from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, it's defending champion Brandon Ward. To the outside, the Taylor Auto Parts #16 from Mount Airy, North Carolina, it's Chris Fleming.
Starting in seventh in the #7, the Wagner Appliance Services machine out of King, North Carolina, Junior Snow. And starting in eighth, the Wahlberg Grill and Pizzeria #75 out of Wahlberg, North Carolina, Lee Jeffries.
On a night of family, starting ninth, the fourth generation driver in the S&P Lemonade #6, it's Slate Myers. To the outside, the M&M Transport, 44 for Daniel Beeson.
Starting in 11th out of Walkertown, North Carolina, the 07 Breakfast Time machine of the real deal, Riley Neal. And starting in 12th, the #5 out of Poptown, North Carolina, the Yadkin Valley Aviation machine piloted by Randy Butner.
Starting in lucky 13 is the driver of the #14, the Lawrence Legacy LLC machine. It's Trey Hutchins. To the outside, the Phoenix Packaging #77 from Jonesville, North Carolina, the lovely Susan Harwell.
Starting in 15th out of Monroe, North Carolina, the 00, the Crossroads Body Shop machine driven by the Flying Taco, Denny Prost. And starting in 16th, the Williams Trucking #99 out of Mount Airy, William Smith.
Brandon Butner starts 17th, Luke Smith 18th, Johnny Mardock in 19th. Corey Levette brings out the rear of the field. On a night where the NASCAR Cup Series has taken the headlines, Burt Myers, your points leader. 22 points up on the field. But on a night where the headlines have all been about the Clash, we get to see two 25-lap clashes for the NASCAR Modifieds. These are the drivers that live by the grace of God and 600 horsepower. The yellow flag is out. The brothers could not get the lead, the field to green. A false start. We re-rack them and restack them, James Pike. One brother, Burt Myers, to the inside, a 96-time winner at the Madhouse. To the outside, a 41-time winner. One of the great families of Madhouse Racing. Take the green. Modifieds are underway.
And this time the start 6, so it's Myers, Brown, Speeney, Brandon Ward to the inside of Speeney, working to try and get that 4th position, get right behind the working man. There's contact there with Tim Brown and Burt Myers up at the front of the field, and Jason trying to hang on to that outside line, but Tim is there on the inside with a big run down the back straightaway.
It's Brown to the inside, using the turtles on the concrete strip right there. But the working man is working hard on the outside. Jason Myers hanging on for dear life. That's the hard way around this famed quarter mile.
Jason Myers there to third now as Tim Brown goes to second. Brandon Ward in fourth, trying to close the gap to the #1 machine of Burt Myers.
Burt Myers is your leader. Right now, 25-lap contest, 3 laps on the board. We're joined as we look at the ground pounders. NASCAR's original division. This is NASCAR's original division right here. And, you know, no better time to bring in a family that truly, well, it is NASCAR because it founded NASCAR. Ben Kennedy glad to have you up here in the booth. An incredible day.
Great
As
to
a
be in the
lifelong Bowman Gray guy, this is a night that we've all dreamed about. How big is this for the sport, and how big is it for this racetrack?
It's huge. This is going to be a big moment for the sport. We're bringing the Clash here, February 2nd next year. It's going to be on Big Fox. We have a ton of energy. I mean, it's electric tonight. Modifieds are putting on an amazing show, and it's going to be electric when we come back here on Sunday. We're going to have our biggest stars in our Cup Series putting on a show for the fans.
Well, right now, Burt Myers is your leader. Tim Brown in second. The two Goliaths at the top of this division, week in, week out, year after year. James Pike is up here in the booth. He is a Winston-Salem native. And he was telling me before how important this is for the city of Winston-Salem and for the roots of NASCAR. How do you view that right now? This is a great city and one of the best venues in the world.
Yeah, it's a great city, a ton of history here. I mean, you know, a lot of ways our sport really started here. You know, we started racing here in the late 1940s, had our Cup Series here, the Grand National Series through 1971. So 54 years since we've raced here with our Cup Series, but we had the K&N Series for a number of years, and every Saturday night we have weekly racing and amazing racing on the racetrack. So it's going to be great to obviously have the Cup Series here, but we also want to put a big spotlight on weekly racing.
11 laps into this 25-lap race for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds, but Ben Kennedy joining us up here. I know you don't have a lot of time. You've been kind of making the rounds doing media here because this is a huge night for the sport of auto racing. Maybe, you know, for the Cup Series, but really for the grassroots divisions all throughout the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series. But I want to ask you something. With all the PR, all the media, okay, when you come in here as not your position at NASCAR, when you come in here as a France, when you come in here as a former winner here at Bowman Gray Stadium in 2013, what's your feels when you walk into this place?
Oh, it's indescribable. It really is. I do wish I could describe it, but it gives you the chills every time you come here. And you know, I've heard Jim tell so many stories about this place. Mike has told so many stories about this place. We went to Pulliam's earlier today. We got a hot dog. And, you know, the stories are just endless. I mean, Richard Petty winning his 100th race here. All of the drivers, I mean, Fonty Flock, Junior Johnson, Bobby Allison, legends in our sport have competed here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And a lot of them were in that K&N race that are going to race the Cup Series race, too. So you're going to have some that are going to turn. Some of these drivers have never seen this place before. It's going to be a challenge. It's
going to be absolutely unique and entertaining. And one thing before we let you go, NASCAR hasn't been afraid as we look at this race here, 17 laps down, Burt Myers, your leader, to take big swings. This is a pretty big swing, and I love it.
Yeah, we've said we want to be bold and aggressive with our schedule when we put this committee together, and we've tried to do that every single year. Want to be measured and calculated with it, but we want to be bold as we think about these changes. You know, opportunities to go to LA, opportunities to go to downtown Chicago, throwback races at North Wilkesboro, you know, like our All-Star race. This can be another big move for our sport. It's going to be another milestone moment, and it's going to be special in a lot of ways.
Well, his family has not only founded and created the sport of NASCAR auto racing, something that we owe a big debt of gratitude towards, but the bold decisions, you know, early on in the history here, running international races with MGs and things, your family has not been afraid to take those big swings. So Ben Kennedy, we thank you for joining us on Flow Racing and thanking you and your group for doing what you're doing for short track racing, because this doesn't just throw a spotlight on the NASCAR Cup Series February 2nd at the Clash at Bowman Gray. This throws a spotlight on local racetracks everywhere, so we appreciate you.
It does. Thank you, guys. Looking forward to the racing tonight.
Appreciate it, man. Have a great time. And Ben Kenny hopefully gets to have some little donuts later. You got to get one of those, buddy. I couldn't resist. All right. 1 lap to go before we go back to green. 19 laps down. Burt Myers, your 96-time winner here at Bowman Gray Stadium, is the leader. But right behind, the 101-time winner, Tim Brown. The rocket will be on his back bumper when we come to green. Green flag is back out. Dancing into the south turn goes Myers. Can he hold off Tim Brown? Brown, another sandwich, another family sandwich. Brown is the meat inside the Myers sandwich.
but he's got a little bit of a gap, though. That's the best thing. Jason is not entirely on his rear bumper. 5 laps to go here for Burt Myers to inch closer towards another Bowman Gray Stadium track title, and Tim Brown has not been able to close that gap in the last lap or so. If anything, Burt's been able to stretch it out a little bit on the Rocket.
The drive off each corner for that Citrus Safe Peanut Patch #1 is something of absolute marvel. Tim Brown with a broken hand in that number 83, mustering all his might to catch the driver of the #1. He's in second position, third place Jason Myers, fourth place Brandon Ward, fifth place Chris Fleming.
All Burt Myers at the front of this, just trying to complete a few more laps here and not have any chaos, not have any Madhouse madness, to go back to Carolina Wood Floors victory lane. Burt Myers with the white flag and company behind him, well in his rear view mirror. Myers into the north turn through 3 and 4, and Burt Myers starts off the evening with another victory at Bowman Gray Stadium.
The 228th win for the Myers family. On a night filled with history, on a night filled with family, the Myers family does it again. The 97th career feature event win here at the stadium for the ace, Burt Myers.
5th win of 2024, and he is now tied with Brandon Ward atop the Top Gun standings, which is given to the driver that wins the most races over the course of the season. So that could be fun. We may have that to decide in the final week of racing next weekend as well, in addition to the title fight between these two, which Burt definitely has gained some ground on. And look at the stadium, lights up on the phones, all to salute and honor one of their heroes and one of the greatest drivers to ever pilot, not much less a modified, but a race car, period, around Bowman Gray Stadium, Burt Myers.
Wow. The fireflies are out. The phones are out, lighting up the stadium here at Bowman Gray Stadium on such a special night, and a special night indeed for the family of Burt Myers. Young Slate Myers, 4th generation star, pulls into victory lane as well. What a night. 2 25-lappers are set. Burt Myers will pull the pill to see what the invert will be for the second 25, and then he'll be talking to Randy Pulliams. Let's go down trackside for victory lane.
He'll pull one of those out. The number he pulls out will determine where he starts in the second 25-lapper and how the field will be inverted. His son Slate congratulating his dad on win number 5 in the Bowman Gray season. Win number 96 for the 10-time champion of the modified division. Coming up next, the second 20-lapper for the Los is the John Barrow Sportsman Series. Keep your eyes on the scoreboard. The Elite Underground Utility Madhouse Scramble. Number 10, Burt draws number 10. Getting congratulated from his wife, Kim. And a cold bottle of water. And if it's like he normally does, I hope we get some drinks out here. Burt, win number 5 of the season for the Hammer tonight.
Sounds good, doesn't it? I tell you, as long as my family's been coming here, sitting about where my family sits today, still, when you win a race here, and I come down through here and I pass all my guys, and my family, and the looks on their faces and the looks on the faces of everybody here, this never gets old.
Burt Myers with the win tonight at the Madhouse. Second Twin 25 will be coming up next, but first, actually, the Sportsman division. The second Twin 25 for that division. Let's take a quick break on Flow Racing for that Twin 20, and we'll be back.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina is a city with a rich history of reinventing itself. Here you can wine and dine back in time, or raise a glass to the future. Witness history in the making, or savor the present moment. That's why you'll love visiting Winston-Salem. Our past is present, our future is bright, and our city is yours to explore. Look forward. Travel back to Winston-Salem.
Well, my friend James Pike always, since he's a Winston-Salem native, calls things Winstitutions. There's no greater Winstitution than what you're seeing right now. Not many people in the line at the concession stand because right now they are ready for race number 2 for the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division. Let's give you the starting lineup for the second Twin 20 on the pole. It's the number 33 machine, Roger Nance. On the outside from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and the Bark Buddies, number 8, it's the dog, Kyler Kepley.
Starting in third out of Walburg, North Carolina, driving the number 54 Big B Coffee Machine, it is Braden Mills. And starting in fourth out of Thomasville, the number 38 car, the auto supply of Thomasville machine, Mitch Gales.
Starting in the 5th position tonight will be the driver of the Carolina Cowboys. Number 15, it's T. Dawson to the outside. The legend from Walkertown, North Carolina, the 21 Harkey Litigation Machine, it's the Tiger, Tommy Neal.
Starting in 7th, the Zero Hero out of Lexington, North Carolina, driving the right camper and auto sales car, that's Kirk Sheets. And starting in 8th out of Yadkinville, North Carolina, the ever-ready mixed concrete machine, the number 19 of Michael Adams.
Starting 9th, he was in the middle of the action in the first 20-lapper, the Duggins Welding 03, the Rockstar Sterling Plemons to the outside, the Serve Pro, number 12, it's Donkey Strong, Justin Taylor.
Starting in 11th out of Walkertown, North Carolina, in the number 23 machine, the Jerry Hunt Supercenter East Coast Wings car for Dylan Ward. And starting in 12th out of Louisville, North Carolina, the Jimmy Smokehouse car for Connor Branch.
Starting in 13th is your points leader heading into the night. From Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the Pulse Vodka number 55, it's Zach Orr. And to the outside, the race winner of the first race, the number 31 East Coast Wings and Grill Machine, it's Chase Robertson.
Starting in 15th, the number 22 machine out of Advance, North Carolina, the Blakely Landscape Service car for Wesley Thompson. And starting in 16th, it's the number 24 out of Millersville, North Carolina, the Koger Plumbing car for the Furnace A.J. Burness. Starting in 17th, it's the 01 out of Elkin, North Carolina, Marty Wilmoth. And shotgun on the field in 18th, the number 37 out of Pomptown, North Carolina, Chris Massey driving for Bad Daddy's Burger Bar.
Well, folks, the points leaders, they were finishing 1-2 in the first Twin 20. Well, now they start 13th and 14th. I always like to say it because I love Jimmy Reed, one of the most underrated guitarists ever. Got a long way to go and a short time to get there. 20 laps. Can they make it up through the field? Or, more importantly, can they stick together?
Here's the thing. Eastbound here at Bowman Gray would put you in the fence on the backstretch, and down, I guess if it's south, would put you in the fence in the south turn. So I don't know if you want to go eastbound and down, but you may want to load up and truck your way to the front, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, you are trucking through the south turn towards the east. The east gate is the backstretch gate here. So, hey, folks, you're hearing us and go, what the heck are these two buffoons talking about? You see the building right there. That is affectionately known as the Field House. It used to be a very small house-like building, now a beautiful, beautiful building. That is the north turn. Only one other track that I know of in motorsports history, being the Daytona Beach and Road Course, you had the north turn and the south turn. And since Bill France promoted this place, this is the north turn, and now what you see there, 1 and 2, is the south turn.
Neat little link back to the history of this place and how far it goes and how instrumental Bowman Gray Stadium was to the beginning of NASCAR. Lights are off for the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle. Braden Mills and company will get back to the gas pedal and go back racing for the second time. He did not go. Will a restart stand? No, it will not. So we'll have another crack at the restart to the second 20-lap feature for the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division.
Tommy Neal, he wants it bad. Last week, a terrible week for him. First race looked like it was going well, and it went south pretty quick. And now as they head into the north turn, he's hoping to head to the south turn in the northern direction in P1. Braden Mills leads him to the green. Green flag is out for the second win. 20 for the Sportsman division. Oh, fender swapping smoke between Mills' car and the number 21 of Tiger, Tommy Neal, who charges hard on the outside, trying to get that top spot. Mills sideways through the grass right there. The fans are on their feet as the Tiger prowls to the outside.
No question there was contact between Mills and Neal. Mills has got the car, but Neal's has got the power on the outside. He's getting a better drive off of the corner than Mills, and the Zero Hero is in the mix there too. Kirk Sheets ready to pounce as Tommy Neal clears Braden Mills and goes to the front on lap 3.
Tommy Neal from the outside, absolutely impressive. Now looking back further in the field, we have a spinner. Justin Taylor goes sliding through the infield grass. Mitch Gales almost collects him. Yellow flag is out 3 laps into this affair. We were just about to say Zach Orr was trying to work his way up. He created some space between him and Chase Robertson before that yellow flag came out.
I want to see where they score him here. Right now, he currently sits in the 6th position and Robertson 8th. We'll see whether or not that holds when they set everybody back up for the restart. But still, big stuff. And here comes Justin Taylor flying into turn 3.
Oh.
Not happy with somebody. We'll see who.
Justin Taylor has had a tough year so far this year. And now he is driving back towards the inside of Michael Adams' car. And now to the backside, getting around the number 12 machine. He's not happy with your points leader, and he's making it known. Leaving a little bit of skid mark on the front straightaway there.
Well, maybe more importantly, look at the front bumper of Chase Robertson's car. He's got damage right along the splitter. Now, aerodynamics aren't the most important thing here at Bowman Gray, but that damage will hurt the aerodynamics of Chase Robertson's car for the rest of this race. So that, worth keeping in mind.
Splitter?
Nose.
You mean valence?
Valence. it's got a little bit of a splitter underneath. It's not.
Yeah, you're right, because some of these new bodies actually do have kind of a built-in splitter from 5-star and whatnot.
Right.
But that is, I think he's got a valence. But man, it looks like a splitter. Look at the thing bent
right,
up there.
Right. Well, and that plus we've evolved these cars in the last 20 years, and it's not a pure valence like you saw, especially in the 90s and the early 2000s, where you had nothing underneath. There is a little bit to
just
deflect
a lip on
air
some
to
of
it.
the batter.
Just a little.
Yeah, just
a little bit. So
most of them here at Bowman Gray like to run that valence. You know, the new body style, you know, doesn't get run by many of the cars here. You see in the Cars Tour, which you announced for, you were doing pit road last night for that barn burner at Ace Speedway. Oh my gosh. That is one of the great divisions, the great series in American short track landscape right now. But we're about to go back to green. The modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle is about to dip off at about the 40-yard line and then dip into the end zone, Pike.
Tommy Neal already backing up the field. You know, he's got plenty of tricks and cards that he can play with regards to how to restart a race at Bowman Gray. Now back up through the gear, slides a little bit though. I don't think he got the restart that he wanted, but it checked up Braden Mills. So he'll get the gap that I think he would have liked entering turn 1. Action now to Kirk Sheets. And how about Dylan Ward all over Sterling Clemens and Chase Robertson, already to the inside of Michael Adams for the 7th position.
Man, Sterling Clemens was all over the back bumper of the Zero Hero, but here comes Robertson. He has to stick like glue to the backside of that 55. He gets around Adams' number 19 to do just that. A hot points race on a hot summer night. Mano y mano, stuck together like glue are the 55 and the 31.
Meanwhile, up at the front, Tommy Neal is getting away. Kirk Sheets is getting moved. He tried to move Braden Mills, and Sterling Clemens got underneath him. The rock star trying to party his way to the front, and to the bottom he goes of Kirk Sheets. Has that inside line, a little bit of contact off the corner, but Clemens will have that inside line of that preferred groove as they come back to the backstretch, and a big shove there from Dylan Ward to try and get Clemens to 3rd.
The street stock veteran racing in the Sportsman division is putting on a show, hanging on for dear life on the outside groove. And right now, here comes Dylan Ward in that backup Robertson machine on the bottom of the Zero Hero for the 4th position. Right behind that, though, as the yellow flag comes out, debris coming out of turn number 4. Chase Robertson was about to enter that conversation right there. Debris, yellow flag is out. 8 laps into this contest with Tommy Neal leading the Big B Coffee machine of Braden Mills, the 03 of Sterling Clemens. Dylan Ward.
Getting a report that the debris may have come off of Justin Taylor's car.
Ah.
And a little panel there.
Oh, there it is. Good job by our track crew there.
Some of the best in the business that help clean this place up. And it is tough to clean it up quickly, but these folks very much up to the task. 1 to go from the flag stand. So when they come back to the line, lights will go off the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle. 8 laps currently scored on the board here at Bowman Gray. Tommy Neal, Braden Mills, Sterling Plemons, and Dylan Ward, your top 4.
3 races into this night, and we've seen some incredible racing. But you know what? We haven't seen this is great for the competitors. We haven't seen a single tow truck tonight. Did I just jinx him? Here we go. 8 laps on the board. The veteran, Tommy Neal, with the youngster to his bumper. Tommy Neal slowly through the north turn, and now he gets to the loud pedal. Wakes up the horsepower in that machine, but the battle's on for second. Plemons look to the bottom, but Mills slammed the door.
I do not think Plemons will show the same kind of patience that Kirk Sheets did. Do not think it will take long before we see some bumpers tangling for that second position. Plemons trying to close that half a car length gap there to Braden Mills for the second spot. Tommy Neal hasn't gotten away all that much yet as they work their way through the north turn. When they come back to the stripe, the leaders will see cross flags halfway in the second race for the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division, and Tommy Neal out in control for this moment. Now here comes Plemons. He got his run to the inside. Mills opened the door, tried to close it in the middle of the corner. They make contact, and Mills slides up the racetrack, lost his spot on the inside. Plemons through to second. Dylan Ward trying to get third.
Wow, here comes Dylan Ward filling the hole, and here comes the Zero Hero at the bottom. But Mills fights back hard on the outside. The Zero Hero puts it in there, and sparks. Mills sideways. What a save in front of your points leader. Now here comes Zach Orr to the bottom, trying to get that spot, trying to get max points on this night. Chase Robertson now to the bottom as well. The gloves have come off at Bowman Gray.
How on earth did Braden Mills save that thing? He should have wrecked twice and did not. Meanwhile, battles on for second. Dylan Ward has gotten to the inside of Sterling Plemons as Chase Robertson and Zach Orr have cleared Braden Mills, and they now go to third, fourth, fifth. Contact there in the middle of the north turn. Kirk Sheets with the right front fender off. Trouble behind him. T. Dawson spins. Wesley Thompson spins. And finally, we'll get a breather as the call 811 before you take caution comes out.
Absolute chaos ensuing. 14 laps into this 20-lap affair. Debris on the track from Kirk Sheets' number 0 machine as he was in the middle of that fracas with the 03 of Sterling Plemons that caused that incident to unfold. Braden Mills before that doing a drift in the north turn. Unbelievable racing here in Freddie Kraft's favorite division, the Sportsman Division at Bowman Gray Stadium. I know you're watching, buddy, even if you're well, no, he's not working right now. He's probably watching. So, actually, I hung out with him. Mike Herman Jr., the spotter, loves this place, has raced here in a modified before his 50th birthday party, and Freddie and I were joking about Bowman Gray, and he's like, yeah, I give you guys crap, but I watch every week. Still the most exciting of it all.
You know, before we got that yellow, I was at a point where I was wishing I had more than just 2 eyes to watch everything, because there were about 3 or 4 different spots that I was trying to keep track of it. I'm almost glad we got the caution just so I can figure out what to focus on.
Oh man, it was almost time for it's almost like we needed 3 more cameras.
Well, and while we have a moment, shout out to our wonderful camera crew here tonight. Between our speed shot down in turn 4 and then Joe Radler and Elgin Trailer providing all the shots that you all are seeing on Flow Racing.
Well, Pike, they're coming to green. 5 laps to go for the great Tommy Neal. But Dylan Ward gets into the backside of him on the restart. Pushes him sideways now. Plemons to the outside. Can he get to the bottom? No, Zach Orr, but contact up front. Neal goes around in the infield grass. The football field. The The 21 has spun out of the lead, and the fans are going crazy at the Madhouse.
Dylan Ward, I think, just gained more fans in that moment than he may have in his entire Bowman Gray career right there, because the entire grandstand, it seemed like, jumped up and started cheering in celebration. There were a lot of people here in the stands that were happy to see that call 811 before you did caution come out.
Oh, keep an eye on this. Tommy Neal is not happy. He is not happy. He is waiting for Dylan Ward. Dylan Ward and the Robertson machine is pulled up alongside of him right now. They are exchanging pleasantries through the right side to the left side of that machine. The fans are curiously overlooking in the turn. Robertson pulls away. Calmly goes the number 21 machine into the north turn. But he's going to have to rejoin the rear of the field. Let's see what happens here, because I'm telling you, that car is as red as Tommy Neal probably is inside of it.
Everyone on the front stretch up out of their seats with something to say about this Robertson-Neal tangle. And now Robertson's going to go behind the pace car once again. Actually, no, he's going to try and brake check and stop in front of Dylan Ward. Ward's going to go to the outside here, and then they're going to stop. The pace car is going to dutifully try and continue on, but without the rest of the field at this point, because Ward and Neal rather have stopped, and now Tommy Neal stops over by turn 3.
Well, hopefully, I'm glad we didn't get a repeat of last week, because under the caution there was some shenanigans and there was a disagreement, and Tommy Neal, you know, many would say took it too far, parking his car on the start-finish line. To be fair, you know, to say he took it too far, coming out of his car during the race, and was parked for the night for it. Well, tonight he got turned by Dylan Ward, and you know, he let him know it, but he didn't lose it. That was a great job to keep cool under the collar for the Tiger. But like, you know, I would say keeping cool for now.
Things could change here, and we still have 4 laps left to settle this race. And then you've got Tommy Neal, who's now going to be making the charge from the back. No lights off on the pace car yet, so we still have a little bit of time to sort this out as Neal catches up to the back of the field. As it stands, when we go back to racing, Dylan Ward, Sterling Plemons, Zach Orr, and Chase Robertson 3rd and 4th, and then Michael Adams in the 5th position, Braden Mills 6th, Kurt Sheets 7th with that missing right front fender, Connor Branch 8th, Justin Taylor 9th, and the top 10 rounded out by the 22 of Wesley Thompson. So those are your front runners as the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle brings the field of the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division back through the north turn. And we will see whether or not lights come off this time. I see the green flag.
Still didn't get a tow truck.
No tow truck.
We got the push vehicle out there. We got a little debris in turn number 2, but still no tow trucks tonight. I'm a tow truck fan. I mean, plus we got commercials we got to hit, right, folks? We got to pay the bills. So look at Jimmy Absher digging in that pace car, man. Old Jimmy Absher thinks he's back in his race car again. Oh, look at that entry into turn number 3 and 4. Good job, Jimmy, our wonderful driver of the modern Chevrolet Blazer Pace vehicle here at Bowman Gray Stadium. A fixture at the Madhouse is Jimmy Absher.
Modern Chevrolet, incidentally, one of the few entities here associated with Bowman Gray that's actually older than Bowman Gray Stadium. Even the construction of the stadium, 1934, when they first opened up their dealership up on Broad Street here in Winston-Salem.
And they've been such a part of this stadium. I think it's 25, 26 years as the pace car here. Even the pace car has history. It's Bowman Gray, and we're back to green. 16 laps into this race. Dylan Ward driving the Robertson car is in first. All over the backside of him will be the rock star, the number 03. But Zach Orr has worked his way up to 3rd. The race is on.
A little nudge, little contact there. Dylan Ward didn't get the greatest of runs out of the corner. Sterling Plemons with an opportunity. He puts the bumper to Dylan Ward in the middle of the south turn. Back to the stripe, closing in on the final few laps of this race. And Dylan Ward still has the lead, but the rear end of that car is fishtailing a little bit on corner exit. How much longer can he hang on and can he make it back to the checkered flag and into Carolina Wood Floors victory lane?
Dylan Ward, the big man, muscling that 23 to the white flag. Ward trying to hang on here as he goes down the back straightaway. Wow. Dylan Ward jumps in the 23 for the second twin 20 and wins.
What a night for Dylan Ward performance. A huge, huge, huge evening to sweep the races in the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division and maybe keep Zach Orr at bay just a little bit. They traded spots there, so Robertson finished one spot behind Zach Orr this time around. So I will let Justin Mincy do the math here in a little bit, but I believe it is largely heads up. And what a shot here. Fans cheering the two cars there. There's black and orange machines, and Tommy Neal has something to say about it as well.
Tommy Neal has arrived in victory lane. Last week, he parked his car in protest on the start-finish line. Tonight, he has parked it to the side of the winner. Not happy is the Tiger.
So Neal makes his point known to Dylan Ward. I wonder if we'll see a little bit of extras and ramifications for next week, knowing that the team car here, it wasn't Chase that got into Tommy, but it's the team car show, and we know Tommy's got a long memory.
Well, first, of course, Dylan Ward, second, Sterling Plemons, third, Zach Orr, the 55, and again, like glued to the backside of the 55 is Chase Robertson's 31. This points race is amazing. 16th career win for Dylan Ward, the big guy. Oh, you want to talk about bowling brawn? That is the driver of that 23. Of course, the Ward family, his father, a great here from Blunderbuss to Modifieds, Dean Ward. And then his brother, Trevor Ward, you know, a winner of the Martinsville Valley Star Credit Union 300. This is a racing pedigree that knows success no matter what level it is.
I had a busy weekend, too. They were in the car show race at Ace yesterday as well. So
That's
they were
right,
all
Dylan
out
and
in
that
Altamont.
family 7, yeah.
Yep, they were all out there, and now they come back here to Bowman Gray in a place they know well and pick up 2 checkered flags amongst their drivers. Not a bad way to round out your weekend. Let's go trackside to track PA announcer Randy Pulliam, who will join Dylan Ward shortly.
Chase Robertson giving Dylan Ward congratulations. Let him hear it. Dylan Ward, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan, you don't just set him up. You drive him pretty well, too. What kind of conversation did you and the Tiger have? I expect it wasn't about dinner plans, was it?
Nah, we can go to dinner. No matter to me. I mean, we can go talk after this. I really don't care. But, you can't brake check somebody and expect them not to turn you. But the first race, I straightened him out, so I didn't wreck him. But I'm not really worried about it. I don't care. I'm just happy for me and Chase right now, getting 1 and 2. I mean, next week, championship night, and it might not go our way, but we got to bless the Lord and thank the good Lord above for everything that we got tonight, and take the good times and always work as a team. Some people forget about that sometimes, but I definitely got to thank Mike for letting me drive this car and all their sponsors they have and everything. I'm going to struggle naming all of them right now, but they can all see them on the car, and I really appreciate it. Everything everybody does to make this whole team and DWR work.
Well, Dylan, let's
And unofficially, the points battle exiting this evening in the law office of John Barrow Sportsman Division is exactly the same way as it was when we entered. 4 points by our math between Zach Orr and Chase Robertson for the division title next Saturday night. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds Racing here. You're watching coverage of the NASCAR Advance Auto Parts Weekly Series live from Bowman Gray Stadium on Flow Racing.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina is a city with a rich history of reinventing itself. Here you can wine and dine back in time, or raise a glass to the future. Witness history in the making, or savor the present moment. That's why you'll love visiting Winston-Salem. Our past is present, our future is bright, and our city is yours to explore. Look forward. Travel back to Winston-Salem.
We are back live on Flow Racing and getting you set for the modified Twin 25 number 2. Let's give you the starting lineup for that race right now here live on Flow Racing. I'm Matthew Dillner, joined by James Pike. Let's go to the lineup. Starting on the pole, the young rookie sensation from Walkertown, North Carolina, in the breakfast time 07. It's the real deal, Riley Neal. The rookie front row, showcasing the young talent tonight after the Madhouse Scramble. On the outside, in the Bed & Gable Enterprises S&P Lemonade, number 6, it's 4th generation star, Slate Myers.
Starting in third, the number 75 out of Walberg, North Carolina, the Brad's Golf Cars machine, piloted by Lee Jeffries. Starting in 4th out of King, North Carolina, in the 7J machine, it's the Snowman, the Little Donuts car, driven by Junior Snow.
Starting 5th tonight, from King, North Carolina, the Wiley X number 10 Sand Machine. It's Mike Speeney to the outside. The driver from Mount Airy, North Carolina, that they call the showstopper. The Taylor Auto Parts number 16. It's Chris Fleming.
Driving the 04 out of Winston-Salem and starting 7th, it's the crazy Kevin Powell machine for the defending track champion Brandon Ward. And starting in 8th, it's the working man, number 4 out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, for the Myers brothers, the QRC HVAC car, Jason Myers behind the wheel.
Starting 9th with a broken hand, wheeling that machine tonight from Tobaccoville, North Carolina, the Hayes Jewelers machine, the 101-time winner, the great Tim Brown. To the outside, the winner of the first Twin 25 lapper tonight from Walnut Cove, North Carolina. Now, the number 1, Ace. That's right, Citrus Safe machine, it's Burt Myers.
That was your Madhouse Scramble. Top 10 inverted for this second race. Starting in 11th, out of Kernersville, North Carolina, the number 44 M&M Transport car, Daniel Beeson, driving that machine. And starting in 12th, out of Poptown, North Carolina, behind the wheel of the number 5, the Muddy Creek Motorsports car for Randy Butner.
Hey, when I was announcing Burt Myers, I think I smelled toast. Anyway, starting in the 13th position, the Lawrence Legacy LLC 14 for generational star Trey Hutchins. To the outside from Monroe, North Carolina, the unit's 00. It's the Flying Taco, Danny Probst.
Starting in 15th out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, part of the Fleming family racing stable, behind the wheel of the number 99 Peterbilt machine, it's William Smith. And starting in 16th out of Louisville, North Carolina, it's the number 35 car, Brandon Butner. Just rolling off.
Starting in the 17th spot in the Phoenix Packaging 77 from Jonesville, North Carolina, the daughter of the great Alfred Hill, it's the lovely Susan Harwell. To the outside, the Myers Brothers Racing Machine, the number 8 from Advance, North Carolina, it's Luke Smith.
And your final 2 cars on the grid, starting 19th. Originally from Iowa, now to Yankinville, North Carolina, the 88 Pulliam's Hot Dogs car of Johnny Mordock. And starting in 20th, it is the Flying Beret, the 41 out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Greg Butcher Trucking, aboard Corey LeVay's machine to round out the field for the second race of the evening. 25 laps for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds, and another opportunity for Burt Myers to really put himself in pole position entering the final weekend next week to win the track championship yet again.
Well, Burt Myers has the destiny in his hands right now. This is the driver of that Citrus Safe Peanut Patch number 1 Backyard Leisure machine. One of the sleekest looking modifieds in the land. That thing, just the way the paint scheme is kind of raked. You know, the roof is a little raked, but man, the paint scheme really kind of exemplifies that, and that slanted number 1, just iconic. You know, Burt Myers cars have always been kind of iconic, but you know, the orange bumper really is the really thing that everybody looks for. But you know, Burt Myers right there, that car is absolutely beautiful.
Burt Myers, also worth noting, as we continue the brotherly theme this evening. But just ahead there, that black and orange 4 machine, Jason Myers made his 400th career start last week at the Madhouse. Big time number for a driver who's been a staple of modified racing here for as long as I can remember, at least. My memory doesn't go back that far, but.
Oh, 41-time winner. Okay, people always, the headlines always go to Burt Myers, right? But there's another brother. And he's no slouch, dude. You know, we call him the working man because that guy works his butt off each week. You know, Burt, not that he doesn't, but he works on the race cars. So Jason has a job. And you know, that Bert does have a job too. He works on the race cars. He's a full-time racer, but not many people can say they are that. But you want to talk about full-time racers, those guys are pure racers. We're coming to the green. These are the drivers that live by the grace of God and 600 horsepower. The modifieds, the rookies, lead them to green.
The rookies did not want to get a great start. They both slid the rear tires on corner exit there. And now contact there between Slate Myers. I wonder if he thought he has a problem. He does have a problem. They stack up in the corner, and they call 811 before you did. Caution comes out. He had some sort of issue. I couldn't tell what. Maybe steering, maybe something else, but
Chris
trouble.
Fleming.
And Chris Fleming also stacked up there, as is Craftsmith. But that all started when Slate Myers noticed there was something wrong going down the back straight. He tried to weave the car back and forth to figure out what it was. Tried to check up, just couldn't get out of the way in time.
That's your third-place points man right there involved. That's a huge, deal right here, okay? That might be the end of any hope for a championship for Chris Fleming. We look at the damage on his car, and he just passed us by. I don't know if he has right front damage, but you see the 6 car in a heap in the wall right there.
Towed out on that left front too, so I imagine that's part of where the issue is Slate Myers will climb out. There's Chris Fleming's machine. Nothing immediately off that camera shot that strikes me is problematic, as we'll take a look at the Flow Racing replay and see what happened. This started further up in the front of the field. Slate Myers was up on that first row, and then you could see him check up, and Mike Speeney gets into junior snow. Chris Fleming had nowhere to go, and Crabsmith stopped up there on the outside too and just came to arrest maybe a foot behind Chris Fleming's machine. Didn't get into him though. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more coverage of the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series live from Bowman Gray Stadium on Flow Racing.
We are back live on Flow Racing for night 1108 at Bowman Gray Stadium. And boy, oh boy, we have had a barn burner tonight. I'm Matthew Dillner, joined by James Pike. And you're looking, Slate Myers' car is in the wall, the 4th generation star. And right there, passing by his old dad, winner of the first Twin 25. Burt Myers last week, his 300th career top 5. So tonight, 301st career top 5 for Burt Myers. That surpasses the great Ralph Brinkley, who we lost in this offseason here, one of the greatest of all time at Bowman Gray Stadium, for 2nd all-time in the modifieds. Burt Myers making history last night and continuing it tonight at the Madhouse. And, of course, Ralph Brinkley, the Hayes Jewelers number 9, one of the greatest drivers of all time here. Every time I drive up at 52, I see that Brinkley & Sons Automotive on the right side there, and I want to see that ramp truck out there, and I want to see that race car too. And sad that we lost him, but of course I'd be remiss if I didn't say it tonight. Auto racing is a sport where it doesn't matter what genre you race. If you grip the wheel, you're a racer. And even if you don't, even if you live the racing life, you're a racer. And of course we lost one of the greatest dirt late model racers of all time, the GOAT, Bloomer, Scott Bloomquist from Tennessee, by way of California. And Scott was a enigma. He was an electrifying character. He was a mysterious personality in our sport, from aliens to controversy. And we lost him just yesterday. So rest in peace to the Bloomer, Scott Bloomquist. Scott Bloomquist was a racer, and he loved watching races. Loved being at the racetrack, and 15,000 fans or so are here on a Saturday night at Winston-Salem, enjoying just that. One lap on the board, Pike. We go back to green with the rookie leading a veteran.
Will Riley Neal get a better restart this time than he did last time? Immediate answer is yes. Much cleaner exit of turn 4. So Neal will lead this group. Then Lee Jeffries with contact there. Junior Snow got into him right in the middle of the south turn, and that actually gave Riley Neal a bit of a gap. I think he'll love to see that. Mike Speedy gets into the back of Junior Snow. Bumper tag there amongst the top 4. Brandon Ward, Tim Brown right in arrears of this group as Neal begins to drive away and Lee Jeffries begins to close the gap to the race lead.
Riley Neal, but bumper tag behind him. It didn't look like Snow wanted to get into him there, but he most certainly did get into Lee Jeffries. Now Jeffries closes the gap on the backside of the rookie.
If you're Lee Jeffries, how much pressure do you put on Riley Neal? Because you know that you need to go. And maybe more importantly, you've got Junior Snow behind you, and Junior has some speed. You got Mike Speedy, who's got some speed. They all stacked up accordion style into one another there in the middle of the south turn. And how much more can you take it through Jeffries? And at what point do you have to just say, Riley, you have to go? And if you're not going to be as fast as me or the drivers behind me, I have to move you because I have no choice.
I don't know. I mean, that's the grand question of the Twin 25s right now. What's going to happen? You just never know. You might see single file racing here and think, oh boy, but you know, this might be a snoozer. No, it isn't. These guys are jostling for position. You saw it right there. Bumper tag and a big shot from the Snowman. Turns around. Lee Jeffries. Yellow flag is out. We talked about it, and it happened.
That is the gamble that you make. If you decide to try and lay off somebody else, the driver behind you may not be as nice. And there was contact there. That's worth noting that Lee Jeffries, I don't think it was intentional, but he whipped the car around a little bit and got into Junior Snow. I couldn't tell which tire immediately, but there was contact between the two cars as they separated up in the north turn over by turns 3 and 4. And Junior Snow now driving quickly around to the back of the field as we take a look at the replay here and see what happens.
Let's take a look here because Snow gets in behind him here. And, oh, yeah, that's exactly it. Speedy tattooed him. Okay, and I bet you right now they're side by side on the straightaway. Lee Jeffries isn't happy. Lee Jeffries isn't happy. He turns his race car almost into Junior Snow's car. Snow, I believe, is probably pulling to his outside to tell the hot driver that, hey, I got pile drove into you. I mean, you look at wrestling, you know, that was a pile driver. I mean, he literally got pile drived into him. That wasn't something where the 7 threw it in there and tattooed him. He was getting pushed from the back by Speedy.
And then the next thought I have after that, okay, so if Mike Speedy did that from 4th, now that he's behind Riley Neal, how much patience is he going to have dealing with Riley? And then you look at the drivers behind there. Brandon Ward, defending track champion. Tim Brown, oodles of track titles here. Burt Myers, you've got, 20 plus between those two cars alone. And they're 4th and 5th. And we have 7 laps on the board of 25. How fun is this going to be?
Oh, it will be. 7 laps on the board. The rookie holding off a hungry Speedy to the backside. That Speedy car is going to be locked to the bottom, and right now it's locked to the back bumper of Riley Neal. He dives the chrome horn to the inside, trying to make space, muscling his way to the inside. The fans go nuts as Riley Neal stretches out the lead.
That was great work from Riley Neal. He pinched Mike Speedy on the exit of turn 4, and Speedy got loose, couldn't quite get back to him. The problem is that Neal is giving up about half a car length on quarter entry, braking way earlier than anyone else, and that will allow Speedy and Ward to go right back up to the rear bumper of Riley Neal. More contact there in the south turn, and I imagine we'll see a shot here in the north turn as well. There it is, middle of the corner. Neal goes up the racetrack, cuts off Mike Speedy, and just about kept it straight. And Speedy was not going to take that. He sends Neal way up the racetrack. Neal keeps it straight. Mike Speedy to the lead on lap 10.
Things that go bump into the night, and the one that was the victim was Riley Neal. He's hanging on for dear life on the outside after being chrome horn out of the way for the lead. Mike Speedy now is your leader, defending champion of the Brad's Golf Cars Modified Division. 11 laps on the board, is now in second place. That's the gray car of Brandon Ward.
You've got Mike Speedy, who's hungry to go to Carolina Wood Floors victory lane. You've got Brandon Ward, who's trying to even the score of the Top Gun Award race with the win tonight. He and Burt Myers would be tied ride in that department going into the last weekend of the season. So plenty of incentive for both of these two. And then Tim Brown, who'd like to get the ship righted after getting involved in a wreck last week and went out of the race early. You know there's those three. And then Burt Myers as well. Contact a little bit further back. Riley Neal got putted by Jason Myers and loses another position. He's now back to 6th.
How does the rookie in his 22nd start, that is Riley Neal, keep his composure right now? He was about halfway into this contest thinking, I am in a position to win my first ever race at Bowman Gray Stadium in the breakfast time car. And right now he's getting punted out of the way also by the number 16. Physical racing is just the trademark here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And here comes Chris Fleming trying to rebound. Is the great driver of that number 16 from that early lap 1 incident. Up at front, Speeney in the lead, Brandon Ward, Tim Brown, Burt Myers, Jason Myers round out your top 5, 17 laps on the board.
So now a little bit of breathing room finally for us on lap 18 after the chaos. And then Riley Neal and Daniel Beeson almost got into it further back. But as it stands, Speeney, Ward, Brown, Myers. Brown and Myers getting a little bit closer for the 3rd position there down the back straightaway. Will Burt bump Tim and try and get another spot?
Yeah, I mean, he's got nothing to gain by stoking that fire right now. You know, and of course he also knows that Tim has a hurt hand. You know, I think everybody here, whether you're a rival or not, has respect for that driver in that orange 83 right now, wheeling his car with a broken hand. He went to Ortho Carolina on Tuesday and got that thing further examined and made it so he'll be able to drive tonight.
Speeney, Ward, Brown, Myers, they've all cleared the lap traffic of Crab Smith, by the way. 21 laps up on the board. Ward with work to do if he wants to have an opportunity to get back to Speeney. Don't know if Ward's got the pace to catch Speeney, and Speeney may be more motivated than just about anybody because it's been a bit since he's made his way to Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane.
22 laps on the board, coming to lap 23, Pike. Unless there's a caution, what do you think? I don't think he's got time.
He needs help. He needs something. He'll be down in the points to Burt Myers. He'll be down in the Top Gun battle to Burt Myers unless he can find a miraculous way to close this gap. White flag out. Final lap of modified racing this evening at the Madhouse.
Now, coming down the back straightaway and rocketing into the north turn. It took him 49 career starts, but the Pennsylvania native, Mike Speeney, is a winner at Bowman Gray Stadium. The family Speeney, they live and die by the law of the chrome horn, and tonight they used that rule to win at the Madhouse.
It was the chrome horn first, but the pace was there afterwards.
Yes.
I think that should not get lost in all of this, that Speeney had a legitimately quick race car, and it hasn't always gone his way this season. But tonight, the stars finally aligned. And I don't know about you, but I almost want to get down to Randy Pulliam a little bit earlier than normal, just because I know that this is going to be a very emotional, meaningful, and I think really entertaining interview that we're about to have with Mike Speeney in Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane. You know how much this means. And I think, Matthew, you can speak on a little bit more. When you come down from different places, when
Yes.
you're not from the stadium and you have that kind of passion, that this will hit a little bit different.
These are hardcore modified people, the Speeneys. Dan Speeney, Mike Speeney, a lot of the crew members that work on that car. First career win, becomes the 3rd Pennsylvania driver ever, according to Justin Mincy, to win at Bowman Gray Stadium. Kirk Shelmerdine and L.W. Miller. Wow. Let's go down. First-time winners are Magic at Bowman Gray Stadium, and Randy Pulliam has one tonight.
Several times this season, he would not be denied tonight. Mike Speeney, his name will go into the Bowman Gray Stadium record books as a feature event winner in the modified division. Coming up next, 20 laps for the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series. Let him hear it, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Speeney. Mike, your brother doesn't have one on you anymore.
No, I won't let him live that down either.
I know you got a bunch of sponsors. You couldn't do this without your sponsors.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Shooting Targets USA. Anybody wants anything gun related, go to shootingtargetsusa.com. They got everything from guns, ammo, anything you want. Lou's Fishing Group, Strike King, CNC Holsters, Genesis Arms, Mom and Dad, and Jason Taylor.
Congratulations to you, Mike. Congratulations. Looking for your victory lane all season long. Glad
Time coming, it's been a little frustrating. You know, we've got a lot of speed this year. Winks hooked us up, and it finally came together tonight.
Congratulations to Mike. He's going to make his way over to the Carolina Wood Floors Winner's Circle to pick up the winner's trophy for the first time in his Bowman Gray Stadium career. He'll also pick up 4 of those delicious milkshakes courtesy of Chick-fil-A, their sponsorship of the Sweet Taste of Victory Award. It's time.
A true modified guy, Mike Spini, holds the Bowman Gray Stadium stitched checkered flag for the first time in his career. Burt Myers unofficially looks like he is up by, 23 points at the end of this one. So that's your update, unofficial. But let's take a quick break at Bowman Gray Stadium live on Flow. We'll come back with the Street Stock 20 Lapper.